set of skills and practices that become second nature to master teachers. But there's no denying that the most effective teachers also have mastered the art of creating positive relationships with students. As anyone who has ever worked with kids knows, it's not always easy to develop relationships. Some students come to us believing that all adults are out to get them. And for some students, the reality is that they have weathered a host of negative interactions with adults, resulting in a difficulty in making connections with others.
I think some teachers who are still, or adults, all adults, who are just of the mindset like, I'm the adult, you automatically have to give me respect just because I'm an adult. Well, we've had a lot of students that have had adults in their lives let them down. So for a lot of our kids today, they don't automatically give that. It has to be earned from them.
Because positive teacher-student relationships are powerful predictors for student success, it is worth considering 3 general ways in which teachers can promote positive relationships, even with the most challenging students. You'll get a chance to see videos and consider your own strategies related to school culture, school-wide relationship strategies, and more intensive strategies for more challenging students. Research clearly shows that the degree to which your students believe you genuinely care about them is a major predictor for their overall school success. In light of the fact, we might consider building positive relationships with students, not as an additional chore, but as an inherent part of what it means to be an effective teacher.
A strategy called 2x10, where you give them 2 minutes every day for 10 days in a row to talk about whatever they want. And then the idea is by the end of that 10 days, they'll be comfortable just talking to you. And so then you just go from there.
The culture of your school refers to the set of values that are shared and exhibited by all people, adults and students. Schools that commit to improving relationships as part of the school culture have open discussions and clear plans for improving relationships across the entire school. Often this effort is done as part of a school-wide effort, such as PBIS. Using this framework, the teachers and staff consider specific actions for increasing positive relationships, then commit to implementation over a period of time with data collected to monitor the effect. As a general rule, if relationships do not improve, the adults will have to be the ones to change their behavior to make it work. Simply waiting for the student to improve relationships is a very poor bet.
I hear you saying we do this, we do this. So adult behavior should follow student behavior.
Yes.
Is that what I hear you saying?
Yes.
Because I see we teach a lot of times the kids how to be respectful, and yet the teachers on the playground aren't being respectful, or when they're picking kids up from the bus. So do I hear that you guys would like to also include something that says when we're teaching students expectations, that adults have those same expectations?
We're trying to treat these little kids as people, then we need them to see us as people too. Like, yes, I'm your teacher, but hey, I like to play kickball, and yeah, I can talk a little bit about Pokemon. I don't know much, but what do you got? So it's like, how do we build that humanity between us? Because a lot of our students have a hard time looking at us as anything but teacher, and so.
How do you think the kids in your school feel about the adults? Do you think they really believe that adults care about their success or well-being? Take some time to discuss with your team. How would you describe the culture of your school from a student's perspective? Do you think they would consider it to be caring and positive? Think about what the adults in your school do to enhance your school culture and whether efforts are underway to develop continuous improvement. The culture of the school is built upon the behaviors of the teachers, who serve as models for our shared values. Each adult must take responsibility for enhancing relationships with the students that they come in contact with on a daily basis.
You have to know them more than just pen to paper. You have to know about their outside life, because they're only going to let you in if you really know, if you see them. And if you don't, so you know, I have you here, I can dominate over you and make you sit in that chair. But you will never give me your heart. You will never give me your all. Even if it's hard for you academically, you will never give me your best if I don't see you completely.
So many times I'll hear adults, best intentions, tell a kid, don't run. And they hear run. And they just keep running. You gotta say walk please. You gotta say walk please. You gotta say walk please. So positively stating everything.
I think another thing that I've really tried to focus on this year is trying to get them to understand that their actions don't necessarily affect me. It affects their friends in the classroom. And the reason why we have roles is because your friends in your classroom want this type of environment. And so it's big for me to make sure that they tell everybody what they want. Because it's not just me saying it. Because if it's just me saying it, they're just saying, oh, that's an adult just telling them the roles. But when they hear it from their classmates and their classmates saying, you know, I want it quiet when I'm working, or I want to be able to hear my teacher when she's teaching, I think that affects them a lot more than just me throwing up a bunch of rules and saying, this is what I want, this is what I expect.
Yeah, creating together.
Yeah.
Because students often lack maturity to maintain an effective relationship with adults, it falls on to the teachers to provide models for positive and appropriate relationships. Experienced teachers report using a wide variety of simple strategies to enhance relationships with students.
What did you just say? Treat people the way you want to be what? Treated! And we want to treat each other with respect!
But I think the issues come from us. They come in and we instantly say, this is what I want you to do. Instead of, hey, how are you? How was your day? How was your night? Oh, did you watch the game? Trying to make that connection because we're so focused on what we have to do as teachers. We have to get this done, and this done. Whereas we are not letting these children be children. And we're not opening up that caveat of, hey, you know what? I like you as a person. Forget that you're my student. You're a good kid. And I think that's why I'm so focused on in my career of teaching, where I have to make that relationship. I have to make sure that you know what, Ms. Broughton likes something about you. I don't care what it is, but I like that you wore red today. And that makes them feel like, hey, you know what, she knows me.
Building a relationship, talking to them about their home life. You know, I know 2 of my students are first graders, but they're about to be big brothers and big sisters. You know, just casual conversation, having lunch with them a lot.
I eat lunch with my kids every day, and that's non-academic time. Like we even discussed that during that time we're not going to talk about reading, we're not going to talk about math. You can tell me what you did over the weekend. Like one of mine is going to be a sibling, going to have a sibling, so like we talk about those things, and they know that during that time. So when it's reading time, I can say, "Oh, save it for lunch," and I sit down there. I eat with them every day.
You're exceptional though. Not many teachers take it for lunch.
Yeah, well, and I eat lunch with them every day because I don't really care to go to the teacher's lounge. So I just sit down there with them and we eat every day.
And I think that goes a long way. Like I started, last year I had a rougher class, so I started going down at times, like in the morning. I know they're in the holdover area, so instead of, preparing, I would get that done the night before, and I would go down there, and I think that meant a lot to them because they know that, when they're up in class, they know they're with me. But if you make the intent to go down and you're intentional about it, that goes a long way, just like for us if someone does that.
Sharing a morning meeting instead of doing a morning meeting, and then every day maybe somebody else shares something new, and then everybody gets to know everybody, but you can find out a lot.
But I think the issues come from us. They come in and we instantly say, this is what I want you to do. Instead of, hey, how are you? How was your day? How was your night? Oh, did you watch the game? Trying to make that connection because we're so focused on what we have to do as teachers. We have to get this done, and this done. Whereas we are not letting these children be children. And we're not opening up that caveat of, hey, you know what? I like you as a person. Forget that you're my student. You're a good kid. And I think that's why I'm so focused on in my career of teaching, where I have to make that relationship. I have to make sure that you know what, Ms. Broughton likes something about you. I don't care what it is, but I like that you wore red today. And that makes them feel like, hey, you know what, she knows me.
So certain things I do, I know because kids in transition, It's just for me, I know after lunch, I don't go right into instruction. I let them have 5-6 minutes to themselves, and then we'll pull the instruction. And then for certain things that they do, I found myself, I need to just start laughing and stop being so angry with it. So once I started to laugh, my day's been going great. I'm like, okay, well, you know what? Fine, you did that. I don't do it again, but you know what? It was fun.
Well, I think it's really hard to separate the prevention and the relationship because so much of the prevention comes from knowing your students and having a relationship with your students. So separating those two things.
Being at the door saying, hey man, did you watch that game the other night? Because you saw him running down the hallway, running back down the hallway, jumping up and down, smacking the banners up. Hey man, hey dude, did you watch that game the other night? Calming him down, getting that relation, talking to him, de-escalating before he walks in the classroom so that but you have to know your students to do that. You have to have a relationship with the students in order for that to happen. So you gotta show your kids, that you're just not in it for the check. You're just not in it. They got to know that you really are there for them.
One simple strategy is to take advantage of non-instructional times to engage students with their own interests. For example, meeting students at the door or catching them as they walk by.
In the mornings, I pick kids to come in and unstack the chairs, and I'll talk to them about their lives during that time. Like, what'd you do last night? Some of them, what'd you eat for dinner last night? Make sure they ate and everything. And then you can talk to just one or two at a time if you can't go down. If you are busy in the morning, I can do work and talk to them.
During recess time is a time that you can have conversations with kids, and you have adults beside you, and you have it, but you can talk to them during planning. And for a kid to see you conversating with them, and you can talk to an adult. Feels really good, but also as long as I'm able to move like an elementary school student, I'll go and do an activity on the playground that they want to do, and it's really cool for them to see you doing the same things that they're interested in, and you can almost develop a relationship with groups of students at that point because everybody wants to become a part of that, and so I've had a lot of success doing things like that as well.
Hey guys, how's it going? Are you liking your books? Has anybody seen a really cool movie lately? What have you seen? What have you been watching? What is it? Paw Patrol movie?
I did not even watch any movie.
You didn't watch any? You didn't watch Paw Patrol like he did? Do you like Paw Patrol?
Yeah.
You like it too? Do you like Paw Patrol, AJ? Did you watch some of that too? That's what he says he was watching. Oh, you did? Hey, that's really cool. Has anybody seen anything different? Anybody seen something other than Paw Patrol?
What strategies do you typically use to engage students in a positive manner and build relationships? Discuss within your group and come up with a list of strategies that work best with the students you see on a daily basis. In all likelihood, the minute we start talking about relationships, you begin thinking of that one student who you tangle with the most. With these kids, it's hard to think about a strategy for being positive. They often seem to initiate negative interactions right from the start. And this is something we all find challenging. However, there are some strategies that improve your chance with these students. One helpful strategy is to consider the background of many of these students. Very likely, their demeanor is a function, not trusting adults. This is a key to why we must take the responsibility to build a relationship where none exists. Simply expecting students to be respectful will not pay off with the most challenging students. We must show respect to get respect.
It's amazing the difference one of my students turned and took when I showed up to his football game on a Saturday. He was like, I can't believe you're here, and that just doing that gesture meant the world to him, and his behavior improved a lot because we grew that relationship. Academically, we still struggled, but his behavior improved, and I was like, if I can get you behaviorally, I can get you the rest of the way with everything else.
Another strategy I used last year that worked really well, and that I do with my kids now, is You know, it's hard to find time sometimes to have like a conversation that's not academic related. So if a kid is wanting to have that conversation about what they did that weekend or the night before, and we're moving on to something new and we really need to get to it, I'll hand them a post-it note with the time on it that says, hey, come back to me at this time, maybe it's during my planning, and we can have a 2 to 5 minute conversation so you can finish what you were telling me. But we really need to focus on this now. Here's this, give it to your teacher, they can come back to me.
Building relationships with the challenging students takes a great deal of patience. Positive relationships are built over time and trust is gained by consistent attention. This is different from what we do with all students, only in that it is more purposeful and individualized. Take a look at the following examples of teachers dealing with students that are distant, surly, and disengaged with adults. Notice that across all examples, teachers are patient, speak quietly, and always communicate with a primary concern for the student.
Thank you so much. I love how quickly you guys responded to my 5. Can you put your hands down real quick? And then I want to see just one person. Can one person tell me what level voice should you be on when you're in the library? AJ, what level voice? A 0. Can you guys show me? I love how you guys do those hand signals in the hallway. All right, so we're going to practice that for just a second. Can you guys start to talk a little bit more? And then when you see my 5, I'm going to ask you to stop. And then you're all going to get to a level 0. That's our signal, okay? All right, so you can start talking. And 5. Right back to those voice levels. That's how we talk when we're in the library, right? Hey, sweetie, why are you not reading your book right now? You're not sure? You're not interested in doing what we're doing? Can you look at me? Is everything okay right now? Because I know normally when you're in here, you participate, and we have a good time, and we all read books together, girls. Look at there. It helps me feel better too if I sit up straight, my back's all straight. I don't feel so tired. Can you put your head up for me? Awesome, awesome job. I hope you enjoy it. I want to see you happy.
Note that this is not the end of the teacher's attempt and they did not overdo it, just created a pleasant exchange and then moved on. Building positive relationships is a long-term game, played a little each day over time.
Hey, Bill, what's going on? Can you talk to me? Tell me what's... Okay, I understand that you're angry and that you're upset about something. I get that, Will. I get mad and angry too, but I don't know if you should be staying here, and I want to help you. I want to help you get through your anger spell here, okay? You know you can talk to me anytime. Do you want to talk now? Or do you want to maybe calm down here a little bit and then be ready to talk in a little while? You know that we care about you, and that we're all here to help you, okay? So whenever you get ready, you just let me know, okay? Oh, you look like you're getting better, okay. I'll be here for you if you need me.
Note that the student's agitation and surly demeanor did not distract from the teacher's focus on the student's well-being. Again, this was not the end of the teacher's attempts to be positive with the student, but a single instance in a purposeful effort to be consistently positive with a challenging student. As a final thought, consider that this does not always need to be done one-on-one. Positive relationships can be generated as a part of your interactions with groups too. Consider some challenging students with whom you regularly interact. What are some possible ways that you might be able to find opportunities to begin creating a consistently positive relationship? Be sure to consider how you'd have to change up what you do now to make it work. Come to the next meeting with your own thoughts on your own positive engagement with students and be prepared to discuss.